All right. Well, I'm just going to call the meeting to order. So we will call the meeting to order at 7:08. If you would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Yvette, I see on the agenda staff recognition. Was that just a holdover, or is there somebody we need to recognize?
That's a holdover.
Okay. There's no one's going to complain about crossing an item off our agenda. So, okay. Old business. I'm going to look at Sohini's minutes for our September action items and go through those. Okay. First action item was for Janet to move money from fine to special to correct an error.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was going to reach out to Paul McCallie about MYA and MOU. I did. I sent an email about that. I was going to reach out to Ann Warner on next steps for strategic planning. I did. And I will just let you know, I actually did these both, not just today because I remembered. So they were done a little bit earlier this month. Janet had made a memo of understanding, and one of the trustees of the trust fund had some questions. So we met with Mrs. Heinrich, who had some concerns yesterday, and heard what her concerns were. She was not acting as a representative of the trustee of trust funds, just in her capacity as a former library trustee, had some questions for us. I think that we're still maybe didn't have the same idea about what the purpose of this. So for the board, our purpose for an MOU was to just document what's already in place. So there's nothing new being added. There's nothing different. It's not a plan. It's just a document that would serve for boards in the future, whether it's a change in this board or a change in the trustee of trust funds board, and would be reviewed every 2 years because it's a working document, right? It's not a contract. It's like, this is how we do things. This is our relationship, so that when new people come onto the board, they don't have to go back to recreating the wheel. So, so we heard her concerns, and, we're just going to take a couple of things that she said that Janet agreed with and add them in, and then we'll go from there. I think that we do want to have some legal counsel or someone just look at it, just even if it's just this one time, to say, yes, this makes sense, or someone from the charitable foundation. So was there anything else I should say about that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
That was it.
Trustees were to email me about volunteering for library book sale. You did. We did. And that is done. So those were the September action items. Was there anything else?
What was the second one?
Reach out to Paul McCallie about MYA and the MOU.
Thank you.
So SMP, which is item B under old business, no news on that front. No news on the strategic plan. I will let you know when I hear back from Ann Warner. Building maintenance project list. Do you want to deal with the building stuff now, or really go forward under your director's report? Any preference?
You can do it in the director's report.
Okay. Trustee retreat is next Tuesday at the library. Are we in the Lowell room?
Yes.
So please send me any items of things you'd like to discuss. I'll make sure there's like some water. Maybe we can have like some tea. I'll get some cookies, some refreshments. So are we allowed to do that in the Lowell room?
Yes, you can. You should not have like red juice or fired Cheetos.
Somehow I think we'll find a way to pass on those two things. Okay. All right. So 7:00 at the Lowell room, trustee retreat. All right, new business. We have a policy that Yvette sent us, the gifts and memorials policy.
Yeah.
Is this just a regular review with? You added the RSAs in.
Yeah, this one is a regular review, but I thought it would be helpful because it says at the beginning, in accordance with the applicable RSAs, it might be helpful to just have those somewhere.
No, that's great.
Okay.
I think, yeah. Any concerns or questions for Yvette about the gifts and memorials policy? Sohini.
So the second page says that, like individual library staffs shall not accept gifts of any kind. So, and it says small items such as plates of cookies and candy. So, what about gift cards?
Library staff cannot accept gifts from the public.
Because someone think, okay, instead of buying coffee, I'm giving them a gift card to buy coffee. So.
Sometimes people want to give us tips. And the tips come in lots of forms of, sometimes it's cash, sometimes it's a gift card, but it's best to present that we're not favoring anyone and taking gifts.
So should we put gift cards, because gift cards are more prevalent nowadays?
When I was looking at this, I thought I was actually going to cut out, and then I wasn't sure what you guys thought about it, but because it says individual library staff shall not accept gifts of any kind from members of the public or vendors, rather than listing for small items such as plates of cookies and candy, because then we get into listing any possible thing, which would include gift cards. But, I think it's just...
When you say cookies, candy, then say, okay, coffee. It's just a gift card for coffee, I want to...
If everyone can share it.
See that exactly.
Yeah.
I like what you said though.
Yeah.
Just ending it.
Yeah.
Because your staff knows that if someone were to say, thanks for your help, here's a little gift card to go to Dunkin's, your staff would be like, sorry, I can't accept that. So
Yeah, I think we should just take off the means
Take
of
off the
any
rest.
items, like small items.
The
also
details,
just-
and then it can
yeah.
cover.
Yeah,
As
just-
a
because
$5 gift card, it's pretty small. So
yeah, but still it's a money.
Yeah.
but small items
Yeah,
is
small
the
items,
exception. They could twist that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
So what did you want proposed to do?
just a period
so it
after
shall
vendors.
not accept gifts of any kind from members of the public or vendors.
Period.
That's it,
Period.
yeah.
Okay.
And
Period.
then, patrons are encouraged to make contributions to the library.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay. Great. Okay, so then I'm going to make a motion that we accept the gifts and memorials policy with that change. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, seeing none. All in favor? 500. Great. Thank you, Yvette.
Thanks.
Okay, we have the 2022-23 general ledger invoice manifest and open POs before us.
I'm all good with it.
Anyone have any questions for Yvette? Okay.
Didn't we have last time something about a carpet, that $600 for the carpet something? Was it showing in the general ledger or in the POs?
Actually, it got, let me see, it was actually last month that it came in. Actually, you'll see it on the open PO list, on the FY 22-23 list. It's in the red. It says the 16,618 expended was for the interior stair railing. That 600 was just an additional cost for the railings.
But now it's reflected accurately.
Yes.
Okay. I think that was the concern, where did that come
Okay,
from, and that it was reflected accurately. Okay. All right, great. So we're moving on to the director's report.
Okay.
Okay. I have received a letter of resignation from Max Blanchette, Head of Adult Services. His last day of work will be Saturday, November 19th.
I make a motion that we accept Max's letter of resignation. Max Blanchett.
A second.
Thank you. So, Heaney,
With regrets.
with regrets. Any discussion?
What if we don't accept?
That's a formality. It's a formality. Okay, so all in favor? 500. Thank you.
Okay, and I have his PAR here.
Okay, I will sign that.
And I have received a letter of resignation from Samantha Diggins. She is the part-time aide in youth services. Her last day will be November 4th.
Okay, I make a motion we accept Samantha Diggins's resignation.
I second.
Thank you, Sohini. All in favor? Okay. Sohini, are you voting yes on the resignation? Thank you. 5-0-0.
Can I get
Multitasking.
the name of like Samantha is SAMANTHA and Dickens DICKENS.
Diggins.
Diggins.
Because that's not in the.
She gave me her resignation notice after I sent the packets,
Oh,
so I didn't know. So moving along the report, some of the things I highlighted in red or in underlined are the ongoing projects. For the HVAC project, this is gathering information for an RFP. Iris Wyatt from Design Day Mechanicals has visited the library on the 4th. Margaret Dillon, also affiliated with Design Day Mechanicals, she was also doing a walkthrough of the library yesterday. I've met with both of them. Jared met with both of them, and they're gathering information. Iris took mechanical plans of the building. Margaret was investigating with an infrared scanner all different areas of the building and walls, ceilings, corners, windows. She was up in the attic over my office going over the Lowell room. She walked outside the building. I mean, they were both actually in the ceiling at different times, but this was a pretty extensive investigation, and then they combined their pieces to write a recommendation to the board. So that is in process. And she asked me, Margaret asked me, what is the deadline? And I said, well, we've got this project going on and we go into the budget planning, around now. But she's like, oh, I'll put this together in like 5 days. So I should hear from her soon. But
That would be great even if we had it. I'm not saying we have to have it for next Tuesday, but since we're meeting on next Tuesday, if we even had it to look at, who knows? That
Sure.
could, if not, we'll get to the next
we'll get
one.
it when we get
Yeah.
it, but it was
But
really neat.
I love the idea that something is being done so comprehensively, that it's not just being done piecemeal, that it's being done really like thoroughly looking at it, because we know that whoever is here, it's a town building. We need to make sure we take care of it and get a good system in that's going to last longer. So that's great.
So that's that. I did include the invoices that have come up with a breakdown of how we propose to pay for this. I sat down with Joanne and Jen. We have our weekly meeting. Mondays we actually met today for this week's weekly meeting because of schedules, but this was something we were working on for a little while already. So you'll see for Atkinson, this is a balance of the carpet. It's an additional cost from the original quote to supply and install interface walk-off carpet tiles over the ceramic in the entrance, and then the carpet tiles behind the circulation desk. What really happened when we initially spoke with Atkinson, Joanne was the one to walk through the building with the vendor and have communication about the quote. And then Joanne went on a leave for a while. So I was picking this up to work with the vendor. And when I walked through the building with her, I said, why aren't we covering the tiles? And why aren't we putting carpet behind the circ desk? So I said, let's do that. So that was the additional cost. And I was not aware really that quote hadn't been included. So but we looked through the budget, and what we are proposing to pay for that is to use money that has been budgeted to clean the carpet. Since we have a new carpet, we won't have to do that. Any electrical repairs that are coming, we're pretty confident that we can use the 300, that's the balance. Plumbing repairs, we believe we can use the 900. And then we have $6,000 budgeted for HVAC maintenance. But we think we can use some of that since there's already investigation with the HVAC. So in terms of fixing, we might have to do some maintenance on the HVAC this year, but really I think we're looking at a bigger project that we want to have happen sooner. So we're proposing we take some of that money. So that's that.
So this is just for our information of how that's going to be taken care of, because that's already in the 158321. So we don't need to
we
vote on
found
that.
everything in the same kind of line.
Mhm.
So if you want to officially vote on it, you can. I don't know that you have to because it's already there, but that's totally up to you.
Does anyone have any thoughts on this? Questions, concerns?
Well, you found more money than you needed, so.
I know, I wanted to give you options.
Yeah.
No,
No, I think that's great. Thank you for doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's great.
okay, great, thanks.
Sure. And then to continue on this page, we had when we put everything back after replacing the carpet, Joanne was not able to get into the fob system that runs our time clock, and so that was there's a whole narrative here about what's been happening. So we need to upgrade the software on that system. And we have a quote from them. That's $2,111.66. We're not going to get charged for the service call if we go ahead and upgrade the software, which we kind of have to upgrade the software. So that I have using in the 8321, which is the same line, $750 for that, because it's already security monitoring. And then we can go with office equipment, the computer equipment, $1,400. Joanne tells me all staff computers have been updated. They're at Windows 10, printers are updated, so we really could move this money over.
And that's in a different line.
That is in a different line, so you would need to vote for that.
Okay.
So I think that office equipment, and takes the whole thing up at $2,011.
Yep. Yep.
$111.66 because you have $2,150.
It's a $1,400 for the computer equipment.
Oh, 1,400. And 750 is from the previous one.
Yeah. Yep.
Thoughts, comments, questions?
What's this software for?
This is we have the staff areas have locks on them, and staff have a fob to open them. So it's the software
For the
that needs,
file?
yeah.
Is it like it's not the computers, right? I was thinking it was the computers.
No, it's just the software. So
Do they know, was it just a coincidence that it happened when you moved the carpet back? It wasn't like there was something that was done
they
that
were working
damaged it?
fine.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
working fine, but everything got unplugged and moved, away to, I'm sure the time clock was just kind of covered because it was on a counter, but, everything got unplugged and moved to the clump room. So, when she tried to plug it in, she said that the disk was corrupted on the computer for that. So it's, I don't know.
Is it office equipment or is it computer services and supplies?
I put down office equipment,
Okay.
8504.
8504. Yep.
Yeah.
Thoughts? Other questions? Motions? Anyone?
I
I'll make a motion. Make a motion to move $1,400 from the 158504 office equipment line to, is it the 158321? The same.
Yeah. Yes.
I'll second. Okay. Any further discussion? Okay. All those in favor?
Abstain.
Okay.
So it's
Do you have a concern or just?
I don't support it or oppose it.
Okay. So 4 for it and 1 abstaining.
So we are moving, just to make sure, I want to write it down. We are moving that money from the 1,400 from the office equipment to
It's
8321.
8321, right?
Which is,
That's building and maintenance.
yeah.
And then we just need a copy of that portion of the minutes to be sent to Tom Boland. He likes to have a record of that. So if just even that portion of the minutes can be sent to him, I can send him an email tomorrow letting him know we voted on this and we will be sending that just so he's aware that Yvette will be coming with the request and that we did authorize it. So I will
Okay.
make sure I do that. Okay, great. Yvette, thank you for doing that. I think
Yes.
that was, things happen. It's good that you were able to sit down with your administrative team and figure out a way to pay for it from within the budget. We appreciate that. So, great.
Okay, so just other highlights. I've scheduled a full staff meeting for the 27th at 8 a.m. So that Lori Fisher from the State Library can present on the recent increase in book programming and display challenges that are happening in New Hampshire. And she has requested a list of our policies and we'll review them so that she
Great.
can kind of tailor her talk to the Merrimack and work with the staff about responses. And apparently she likes to do role playing. I've seen this presentation before that she does for the directors and for co-ops, and she's just a wealth of knowledge and can really advise us and then answer questions for new staff. Because
That's great.
a lot of the staff are new and they just need to be told what's happening and here's the policies, this is how you respond.
That's great.
So,
And if certainly if she comes up with any suggestions or things that she thinks are missing from our policies,
will.
you know, okay.
I'm sure she
No,
will.
that's great. I mean, yeah, no, because she's out in the field, she has experience, so that's valuable for us.
yeah. She's also one of our ALA counselors, so she has a connection with what's happening nationally with
Mhm.
challenges. So it's really, I'm very happy she's coming.
Great.
So we're just going to open the library a little bit later just to give her
Mhm.
enough time and give us time to kind of regroup and get ready
Mm-hmm.
to open. So that'll be 10 o'clock. Yep. Let's see. I did include the lost report for April, June in your packets. This was something that Jen and I had discussed, and she was bringing it to me, and I was like, "Oh, this is something the trustees might want to see." And then I kind of forgot about it, but so I did get your email, Janet, and I'm not sure if I really understand what's missing for you, but basically when the cost of the item is when we order an item, it's loaded into Polaris when we buy it.
Okay.
So that price is set. And then I think in terms of, here's like cost of the lost items. There were 6 items in children's, amount the library spent on replacements, but then there's still a balance, what was paid by patrons. I think there's maybe a column missing here because it doesn't total out in this line. She was saying to me that, one of the things that this is coming out of is the policy or procedures for circulation about how long do we keep an item in the catalog until it's replaced and it's marked lost, because sometimes we won't get any funds back from someone who's lost something and it just stays there, but how long does it stay in the catalog? and how long should we wait to replace it? And at what point can the staff look at the item and make an assessment, is this something we should replace, or is this something really that we're not going to replace, you know, because for many reasons. So that's, you know, this is the snapshot of what it is, but if she had left already when I got your email, so I forwarded that to her, and so she and I can talk again to find out what maybe the question is.
Okay. I'm just curious because like it's under children's. So and again, I'm sure there's just a gap in my knowledge. But the 6 items, the cost for those 6 items is the $80.92. Is that like what you would actually purchase all 6 items for? Or is that like when you just look it up and go, okay, this is for that item and that's the total?
That's the listing in Polaris.
Okay.
Every item that's part of the information we put in the catalog is what was the cost of this item.
Okay.
Now, when it's purchased, if the vendor gives us a discount, that doesn't show up until later.
Okay.
So I said, how would we find out if this particular lost item was purchased with a discount? She said, we would have to go through all the invoices and dig it up and find it. So I don't know how complicated that is, but it's...
Nope. That's just what I was curious. And then... And then going the same line with the amount spent on replacements, there's the $22.98. I didn't know if that meant the 57. Let's say all of them were replaced, and that was the $57.94. The patrons actually paid for, so they actually paid for the replacements, and then the library paid the $22.98. That's where my
right, because it doesn't say, there's a little piece missing of, you know, we billed this person, and then they never. Answered, but we wanted to get it, so we paid the $22. I understand that there's
that's where I was
almost
missing.
like an accounting, like you want the minus,
right?
Yeah.
Or like your example, you said that maybe you're not going to replace it,
right?
So what was they may have bought it.
So I read this totally differently. I read that the cost of the 6 items was $80.92 in Polaris, and then I think the amount paid by patron, that they probably collected $80.92, but they've only used that many.
See, that's the missing piece too, because we don't know, there's still, you know, is this outstanding? Because we haven't replaced the item yet.
Or, I mean, I was looking at a book today that was $13.50 or something when I bought it. It's down to $3.95 on Amazon. Like things drop in price. You can't get a hardcover, you get a paperback. Like I think there's probably a lot of like on the fly variables that affect that.
There are. And that's a conversation when a patron gets a notice that it's, you know, you can do these options. You know, if you're going to go purchase the book yourself, we aren't going to accept a marked up former library item. You know, we want it as close to new as possible so we can put it back in the collection. You know, so, you know, I don't know how that changes the spreadsheet, but, you know, if you want to see more steps, maybe, or do you want to think about it and let me know?
Sure.
Okay. Because if you write it out, then I could forward it to her. You can figure out what your questions are.
No,
but
I just, it just seemed like, it doesn't matter. I can write it out.
Okay.
Great.
Or not, and then I can just be like, yep, I got my answer.
Okay. I mean, her takeaway from this was there were fewer lost items in this.
I was shocked.
Time.
I was like, wow, just 12 things?
Yeah, actually,
That's
me
like
too.
pretty shocking.
So that's what she was looking at.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that's that.
All right.
And if you want to keep seeing it, we can keep reporting it quarterly. Full staff meeting, I said. Yeah, and I've already mentioned that I'm now meeting with Jen and Joanne every week, and we go over what's happening in the week and kind of touch base on. It's fantastic so far.
Yeah,
I'm really
that's
happy.
Great.
Because we were kind of talking to each other separately, and then not everyone was on the same page, and now it's like we get on the same page and just kind of are able to get so much work done. It's so good. So that's really nice. It's nice. I don't know if you have any other questions about my report.
No, I just, I was just flipping through it and I saw that there was feedback on the carpet in the children's room, and that very positive. And I should share with you that somebody emailed me, but to my home email, because it's a friend, and just mentioned how much she liked the carpet and wanted me to pass that along. But since it wasn't to my town one, I don't feel comfortable reading it. It was like more of a personal exchange. So I just wanted to pass that along to you.
Okay.
So it was well done.
Right.
Okay. All right. Any questions for Hvac on the director's report? All right. Treasurer's report. Janet.
Okay. So for the month of September, we started fines with $5,171.62. And we ended the month with $3,861.48. Those for fines. And then for special, we began with $41,140.13. And we finished the month with a balance of $42,450.32. That's it. I would like to move money from the fines savings account to the fines checking account. I would like to move $5,000.
Can you maybe just share for our edification why?
Currently, the balance of the fines is at $3,800, and I just want to
Bigger cushion?
refill the bank.
Okay.
So,
Any questions for Janet about this move?
Makes sense.
Okay, so you want to make a motion? Oh, okay. We said I want to, so.
I make a motion that I move $5,000 from fines savings account to the fines checking account.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Karen. Any further discussion, questions? Mike, got a
No.
question? You sure?
No.
Okay. All in favor? 500. Okay, great. Thank you, Janet. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. Moving on to acceptance of minutes. We have Sohini's minutes from our September, I should say the board's minutes. Yeah, I'm done. Thank you, Sohini. From September 19th, 2022. Any comments, corrections? No?
I had something. Under treasurer's report, it says the balance sheet for the end of August 1 to July 31.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, then I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes with that change.
Second.
Thanks, Mike. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor? Great, 500. Thank you. All right, we're moving right along. Let's see, what now? Okay, Building Exploratory Committee, nothing to report. Friends of the Merrimack Public Library did meet. They will be having a wreath auction. So that might be something that the trustees want to consider participating in again. Yvette, do you have the deadline for the wreaths? I mean,
It's November 5th.
okay, so wreaths would need to be in by November 5th. So would the trustees like to do a wreath this year?
I'm seriously untalented in that area.
Okay. All right. I mean, I'm happy to work on one with someone or work on it my own. I don't care.
I just do whatever. I find my stuff in front. I just make something.
Well, I think last year we voted a certain amount of money and your sister
Yeah.
did it,
Yeah.
huh? But
I was waiting.
yeah, no, that's fine.
She
That's-
does. She does still.
Would you want to do that again or no? If not, you can say no if you think that might be a.
Oh no, she'd do it. I'll volunteer. She'll do it.
How much did we spend last year on it? I think like maybe 50 or 75.
75.
75.
But I think she made 2 out of it.
Okay.
So,
Well, I mean, if she can't, you'll just let us know and one of us will jump in. But I'll make a motion that we spend $75 on supplies for wreath or wreaths to donate to the Friends of the Library auction. And like I said, if it doesn't work out.
I second.
Okay, thanks. Any comments, questions? Okay, all those in favor? Great, 500. The book fair, I am confusing my two worlds. The book sale was great. It went really well, I think. So,
They were set up so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I was shocked.
yeah.
Did we
That's
make
great.
money?
It was small.
I don't remember what the total was, but
I don't know either. It was small, but there were like good materials and it went quickly. Yeah. So I like the one day. It's kind of done then, you know, and I think people just are there and they go and it works out. So we'll see what the Friends decide to do going forward.
Well, I think with the one day, with people, there's more of an incentive to go the Friday if you're a friend, and then
Mm-hmm.
just scope it all out, and
Yeah.
then they don't have that extra day.
Yep.
So
Okay. What else? The Merrimack Public Library Development Fund. Gosh, I honestly can't remember if we met in September. Was August? No, we did. Did we meet via Zoom in September?
I think so, yeah.
I think that we did. There was some discussion about like trying to recruit more people and get other people involved and that sort of thing. So, but nothing, no new business, just sort of, great people helping out the library. So, and Town Center Committee.
I missed the meeting, so.
Okay. Let's see. Library Board of Trustee committee updates. There's been nothing for personnel. Finance Committee. I already briefed you on our meeting with Mrs. Heinrich. So that's that. We're on to October's action items. So I have two for myself. I will email Tom Boland about our moving of funds from the office repair and maintenance to the building repair and maintenance, or office equipment, I believe it was. I wrote it down. I've got that. And I have Yvette's memo to help me remind me what I'm going to tell him. So, and then also I was looking at the minutes and before we leave here, Yvette, if we could schedule, I do need to make a time to come in and go over the reviews with you.
Sure.
So we'll do that. So those are my two things. Janet is going to move money from fines savings to fines checking. And we are going to get a wreath made or two, one way or another.
what's the
for
date on that? I wrote November, but I didn't write.
5. I'm
November
gonna
5th.
hang them up on the 7th.
Okay.
So
Yeah, so that's for anybody who's watching. The Friends of the Library will be hosting a wreath auction, and there was some discussion last year. I think it was all done online, and I think there's going to be in person as well this year, right?
yeah, well, when I talk to the staff, logistically, it's going to be a lot easier for us just to do in person.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna send that to the Friends and ask if that's okay. Just
Yeah.
because it's
It's just easier. It's
It
just
is
right there.
easier.
People come in and they
Yeah.
do it, and,
Yep.
and people are in the building now, and so it makes sense.
they're
so
in the building now. That's the other piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, and I think it's great to put some stuff out there on Facebook, like, hey, these are the wreaths. But yeah, people are
Okay.
coming in, so I
Yeah.
think that's a great idea if they approve. Okay.
Retreat items.
Retreat. Please send me any items you have for retreat. And hopefully we are able to meet on this one. Okay, I think that's it. Anything else? All right, upcoming events. The Merrimack Public Library Development Fund Committee meeting will be October 25th, 5 p.m. in the director's office. The Merrimack, they don't usually meet monthly. I think that there was some desire to get stuff done because of financial stuff and quarterly reporting. That's why. Merrimack Public Library Board of Trustees retreat will be that same evening at 7 in the Lowell Room. The building will be open at 10 a.m. on October 27th to allow staff professional development time. And the Merrimack Public Library Board of Trustees monthly meeting will be November 15th at 7 p.m. here. So any other comments before we go into non-public? All right. Yeah, go ahead.
Did we have a non-public last meeting?
The meeting before we had the Ann Warner, is that a non-public? Because I kept it as a non-public meeting.
Yeah, but we didn't have a non-public after the last meeting. I don't know.
Okay.
Did we? Did we
I
not?
thought
We had in our,
Minutes.
I put it in the meeting last week. Yeah, we had a non-public.
Oh, so we need non-public minutes also. All right, so
Oh, we need non-public minutes. Okay, I forgot what it is.
it's okay. We can get it.
Yeah, but that's okay.
Don't worry.
We'll gather up the
Yep.
information. It should.
Yeah.
won't be
Yep.
a
We have to
problem.
gather all the information. I think I didn't.
Yeah, that's okay. That's just like a,
I
you
think
probably
it's
weren't aware.
Yeah, I didn't take notes on that. Okay. I just.
Okay, don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. So it'll get done for sure. Okay, so now I'm going to make a motion that we go into a non-public session per New Hampshire RSA 91A3 2A personnel at 7:48. Let's see, and we need. I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
And we need to do a roll call vote to go in. So Janet,
Yes.
I say yes. Karen,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Sohini.
Yes.
Okay, we are in non-public. Please turn off your microphones.